Welcome to the Ho Ho Show, rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airways and strap in as we defend the Constitution. Because freedom matters.
We are broadcasting live from the Cottage Studio. You can check out my website, thehohoshow.com. I am all over the place on social media and a proud member of Weaponized Sloth Productions. So welcome to the Ho Ho Show, and as always, I am your host, Ho Ho. And if you guys would like to follow along with the madness, you can head on over to thehohoshow.com. Just click on that newsfeed tab at the... Yeah, that's the right one. Newsfeed tab at the upper right-hand portion of the screen, and there you will see my magazine on Flipboard, my go-to hub, one-stop shop for anything, everything, and all things. What the heck was that news? Okay, never mind. I don't know. I heard something. I really did. So welcome, everybody. Welcome Spreaker. Welcome Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, Periscope, and Facebook. And I've got a first for a while. Periscope is actually coming through on my Restream chat. So awesome and welcome over there. And so, all right, guys, we've got okay. Everything still, again, is that whole impeachment crap, and of which case, I don't want to talk about it. Ain't nothing new to talk about. But I got something funny, though, because I did watch something, for those of you that are not followers of Steven Crowder, Louder with Crowder, he actually did a thing testing out some of the details and the facts surrounding the Jeffrey Epstein suicide. And yes, I put that in air quotes for those of you that are listening online. And so it was hilarious because it's like, basically, it's impossible for him to have done it. The injuries that he abstained, no, that's not the right word. The injuries that he had, I heard a dog bark. Was that a dog bark?
That was me getting excited, sorry.
Okay, so, but yeah, it didn't happen, so he didn't kill himself. Anyway, probably shouldn't be talking to people off camera. It's all right, though. But yeah, I watched that Louder with Crowder. Definitely check that out. He's got some awesome stuff that he puts on there. So today we're going to be talking about some stuff that's been coming up in the gun rights debate. We got some stuff that we're going to be talking about with, some of the Bloomberg stuff from him entering into the Democratic race. And we've got some other stuff just with rights in general. And there's actually a very awesome case that I'm kind of excited about hearing. And I'm actually very interested in this one, like, completely. And we're talking about the Supreme Court, because they've got the first case that they have heard regarding gun rights coming up in since 2008, I think, the first one that they've heard on gun rights since 2008. Now, one of the aspects on here is part of what they were arguing about. And this was in New York, and this was based off of some of the laws that they have in New York on gun rights. And basically, this is about transporting your own weapon, okay? Because as the law is written right now within the city of New York, and let me actually find this thing because I'm going off of memory. I want to show you guys the article of where I'm getting this from. This way you guys can see this. And I really should have had this pulled up already, but I didn't because I'm a moron. And it's amazing. Is this it? Well, this is one of them. I don't think that's the one I'm looking for, though. We'll just go with this one. There we go. Pull this up. So here's the article, guys. And this one is from the Washington Times. Supreme Court set to hear first. And, of course, there's a pop-up on here. Press the X. Major gun control case since 2010. So basically what this thing is talking about is, because currently within the city of New York, there's only a couple places that you can, transport your gun legally. And that's basically to the firing range and to your home. How the law is written, you can't even transport it to another residence outside of city limits outside the state. You know, if you have another home or like a lake home or whatever, you can't do that. You can only take it, you know, like from the dealer, from the gun shop, and like to a firing range. And that's pretty well the extent of it. You know, that is it. So they had the, hello, Dave, over there in Spreaker land. How are you doing? It says, putting my set together. Awesome. I'll pay attention ASAP. Awesome. Awesome. Good to see you, Dave. So maybe you've heard about this, Dave, this ruling and this case that's going to be going in there. And hello, Z Turley over there in YouTube. Good to see you. So, you know, this law that New York has on the books on this is definitely a little on the ridiculous side, you know. But, you know, the thing is, you know, they were sending this up to the Supreme Court, okay? And the Supreme Court went ahead and like, yeah, we'll go ahead and we will hear this case. And New York is what they ended up doing was they were like, okay, we're going to redo the law, basically making this case in the Supreme Court hearing this like doesn't even need to take place anymore, okay, at all. That was more or less what the hope was, that they would just drop the lawsuit, drop this charade, and just, you know, since the law has been rewritten and now, you know, this case is going to the Supreme Court is no longer valid, they were like, okay, this will just get shoved under the rug. It won't even happen. No big deal. Because let's face it, they don't want a Republican-controlled Supreme Court to be hearing a case on gun rights. They really don't want that. So because of that, and then more or less the Supreme Court's like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're still going to hear this. We're still going to hear out this lawsuit because, you know, and to be honest with you, I agree with it. For the simple fact is, if it has come up in, you know, New York, then it's going to be coming up in other places. You know, I mean, it just will. And it's kind of an aspect of, you know, put the thing to rest. Let's have a case on it. Let's see what it says. And my hope is that the Supreme Court actually follows through, adheres to, and acknowledges the case, and backing the Constitution on this. That's really what my hope is. You know, it's like, let's support and honor the Constitution. This is an overreach. Let's get rid of it. You know, now I've heard other people argue on this, you know, for the 10th Amendment on this, whenever it comes to a lot of different gun rights, basically saying that New York, if they want to go ahead and put these type of restrictions on there, they should be able to do that. My argument is nay. You shouldn't be able to do that, because if you're going to allow those type of restrictions to be put on the state through the 10th Amendment, then basically you're allowing that to be done with every single other right. And nobody wants that. You know, nobody is under the whole idea of, oh, well, it's okay for a state, a city, a whatever to limit somebody's freedom of speech, limit somebody's freedom of press, limit somebody's that just because the state doesn't want whatever, you know. And kind of speaking on that, I seen another article, changing gears a little bit, but I heard something on here, and this was like, are you kidding me type of a thing. Whenever I read this, it rocked me. I mean, it really did. I got to be honest with you. I got to find this article. Oh yeah, here's another one of those articles that I had read on this one. This is from Newsy, actually. And this headline is, First SCOTUS Guns Case in a Decade Could Help Expand Gun Rights. And of which case, oh yeah. That's a little bit of the Kool-Aid guy. Oh yeah. Is that what you was thinking too? That's awesome. I watched something on YouTube a little while ago. Well, like yesterday maybe. And it was some guy, construction worker, and he broke through the wall. And I was thinking the whole time watching this, I'm like, oh yeah. It was great. I need to get that audio as I play a clip of it. It'd be awesome. All right, I'm looking for that article. I really am. What was it talking about anyway? I hate it whenever that happens. Oh yeah, this Second Amendment thing, or not Second Amendment thing. It was about hate speech, basically. You know, it's like, oh, in order to adhere with freedom and whatever, we've got to limit, you know, hate speech and whatnot. And it's like, dude, that's like a double standard, guys. I mean, how can you say that, you know, how can, yeah. I'm trying to like think and read and talk at the same time, and it's not really working out too good for me. You know what? I'm going to take a quick break because I got to find this article. I really got to find this article. So we're going to take a quick break, and when I return, I'm going to have that article, and it's going to be amazing, and we're going to read it, and we're going to talk about it. It's going to be great. All right, guys, couple minutes. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the Ho Ho Show. So, yeah, I've been going through all of these stinking articles, and ooh, is that it? Yes, I just found it. That's amazing. I found the article I'm looking for. All right, so right here on, really, guys, really, this is what you do to me? Right whenever I click on it, going to give me this big old full screen thing. Okay, anyway, this article right from the Daily Wire, Angela Merkel says that freedom of expression has its limits, must be regulated to keep society free. Isn't that like a double negative, guys? How is limiting freedom of expression, which covers all of them, you know, freedom of speech, press, peace of assemble, and all those other ones, you know, so how is regulating your freedom of expression give you more freedom? Guys, I know I've talked about this on the show before, but you know what? It seems like people really got to hear this. The Constitution grants you the freedom of. It doesn't say jack diddly squat about the freedom from. It doesn't. It's not in there. And guess what is it protected under the First Amendment? It's hate speech. Yeah. It's things that offends people. Those are protected under the First Amendment. Let's face it, guys, it has to be protected under the First Amendment. Otherwise, the First Amendment really doesn't mean anything, because if it's not hate speech, then, you know, if it's speech that everybody likes, everybody loves it, and it gives you that warm and fuzzy feeling inside, if all speech is that, then it wouldn't need to be protected. There'd be no reason to protect it. Yeah. So, yeah, this is the whole purpose, the whole point of why freedoms are in there. I'm using a lot of hand movements and stuff because it's fun for like a dice. I'm okay. Really, I am. So, and guys, I tell you what, speaking of freedom of expression, and I have absolutely no idea how this ties together, but I seen this article, and I tell you what, whenever I seen it, I laughed. Now, just so you guys know, it's going to make you laugh, and it's going to be like, this is news. Oh yeah, this is definitely news. And I think this is from the UK. This isn't from America. It's from like the UK or, Canada, I believe. But I'm not 100% sure. And it's absolutely hilarious. But first I got to find the article because this is absolutely amazing. And I tell you what, guys, and this is another funny aspect of it. It's I've thought about this very same type of thing before. I'm like, dude, we need to know, who's suffering from this. There should be something. It would just be amazing that if this was actually done. I mean, not like I'd really want it to be done, but to actually see it somewhere, it would be hilarious. So there is a place. I'm still looking for the articles, but I can talk at the same time. I'm good like that. There is a business that has been not really making, it's an option that they can do this or not do this. It's totally up to them. But a business that's like, okay, we're going to have our females that are working within this company during that special time of month wear like a special badge that says, warning, I may attack you. I mean, no, that's not actually what it says, but I mean, if you're a guy, then this is kind of what you're thinking, like, holy crap, you see somebody that's got this is my special time of month, then you're going to be like, I'm not going close to her. So this article from Fox News, oh, you guys were watching that the entire time. Isn't that awesome? Japanese department store rethinking use of period badges for menstruating employees. I thought that was absolutely hilarious whenever I read that. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Really? And okay, now here's the thing though. I mean, they really did have, as this article goes on and talks about it, it's actually kind of nice what they were trying to do. Do I completely agree with it? Not really. I mean, hey, the feminists want equal, not above, equal menstruating badges. And the whole, again, I kind of like what they were doing here because it's an aspect of, aspects I agree with, aspects I don't. But the heart behind this, I thought it was really cool because it was like, okay, you know what? If you need an extra break, a little bit longer of a break, then take a little bit longer of a break. The whole thing was in there, not necessarily to advertise to the customers what this little badge meant, under their name tag, but it was more or less to let other employees know and management knows that, okay, this is that special time of month. So if you need a little extra time for whatever, for, unstressing, for, let's not kill somebody, let's not break through a wall and go, oh yeah, if you want to do that, then, let's just be empathetic, towards the situation. And I actually thought that was kind of cool. I thought it was neat. It's different, guys. I'm like, I kid you not. I read this and I'm like, dude, you have got to be kidding me. This is hilarious. This is funny. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was great. We're going to switch gears again because I like switching gears. I read this article and apparently Chris Hemsworth, the actor who plays Thor, according to whomever this thing came from, he is no longer worthy. Yep, he is no longer worthy. This article, apparently, and I tell you what, he's not the only actor that has ever done this. It's been done. People do it. Robert Englund, the guy who played, what's that actor's name? The actor who played, Freddy Krueger, is pretty well like everybody thinks that he's got like the original hand because the prop guys are like, oh, we don't have it, and they can't find it. But, with Chris Hemsworth, apparently he has been taking several of Thor's hammers home with them and Now the production studios, they're like, you can't take any more of these. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to bring any more of the Hammers home. So apparently they're saying that Chris Hemsworth is no longer worthy. I thought that was hilarious. All right, moving on. I thought it was funny. These are the things that crack me up. All right, guys. Just moving on even more. Since we're not talking about, the impeachment, since we're not talking about impeachment, there's been, I guess, a poll that has been done. And, you've got to be leery whenever you're talking any kind of poll, obviously, because you got to look at what they were doing, who they were asking, where, the demographics, the age groups, whether they were Democrat, Republican, all this other kind of crap. You got to be careful about, who they're asking whenever it comes to all these different things. It is very, very important on that. But with this article that I read, and there's a couple of them that I have in here, this first one I'm going to bring up is, really? Where'd it go? Yeah, whatever. So this one is from the Daily Wire. Majority of GOP think Trump is better than historic U.S. presidents, but not better than America's 40th president, the poll says. And this one is from Politicus USA, and it's the same article. It's the same article. I'm not saying the headline on there, but it's the same article. Now, here's why I bring this up, okay? With President Trump being elected as, the 45th president, it's something that had been done before. Okay, if you guys remember, the last president that did this was Ronald Reagan. Now, just like President Trump, former President Ronald Reagan was in the same kind of boat. A non-politician, because Ronald Reagan was an actor, a non-politician that ran for a public office. Now, he didn't work his way up to it. He's like, you know what? We're doing the president thing. I'm going to run. We're going to do this, and it's going to be great. That's what President Trump did. Not a politician. He did not work his way up to it, but he was somebody who's seen a need, and he's made the decision to fill it, And he was also, just like Ronald Reagan, the politicians, the people that are actually in Congress and in every place didn't like him. They didn't like Ronald Reagan either. But you know what these two people did? They both got things done, and they had the people's support. There's this other article that I had read basically talking about, if President Trump is actually impeached and if he is charged, then according to, these polls and history being the deciding marker on this, that he is going to absolutely lose, his support. And of which case it's like, not necessarily. Not necessarily at all, because here's the thing about this. And I said I wasn't going to talk about the impeachment, but I'm not. It's not really about the impeachment. It's about his support from people. It's like, okay, was there anything to really charge him with? If so, okay, well, maybe. But if not, then I really don't see him losing support whatsoever. He's a non-political person who just took the Republican Party by storm. Let's go ahead and get into Bloomberg a little bit because, Michael Bloomberg, is that his name? Is it Michael Bloomberg? Yeah, so Michael Bloomberg, he threw in his hat to run, and he threw in his hat pretty late. He wasn't on par with everybody else. And, the funny thing is he actually, he paid or registered as a candidate, before he even officially announced that he was running as president. That was kind of weird, but it was still like, okay, well, obviously he's going to be running as president. Now, a lot of people see familiarities between him and President Donald Trump. A businessman that, pragmatist, sees as though he's going to go in there and fix the problems that President Trump has done, and he's going to do it for the Democratic Party. There's a couple things about this, though. He is a greedy liberal. He considers himself to be a social liberal and a fiscally conservative, which basically means he wants all the social justice stuff to go ahead and happen, but he's greedy and he wants to keep his own money. And of which case, you can't really have both, guys. You really can't. Socialism works out great for the socialists, but think about it. These things got to be paid somehow, by somebody. And I find it pretty funny and hilarious how you have people whom, we believe so much in what we're doing, but we don't want to suffer like you guys. Like we want you to suffer. I've talked about, political privilege on a previous show, and this is very much political privilege. So you got Bloomberg over here like, oh yeah, we want this. And he's actually even talked about, like the opposite spectrum of what Elizabeth Warren talks about with doing a bigger tax burden onto the poor people. And he even draws up this really nice thing on how this is going to work and this is a good idea and yeah, it should be done. Whether you agree with that or disagree with that, but that's where he's going. And of course, he's trying to take the focus off himself. But at any rate, they like the idea of not making themselves have to. Well, okay, let's think about this. Okay, you had Obamacare, all right? Did these guys have to suffer through Obamacare? No, they had their own. They do this, with we're not going to allow, school credits and charter schools and different things like that. And of which case it's like, they don't have to suffer, but everybody else has to suffer. It's what we were talking about whenever we were talking privilege on that. I want to change gears again. I like changing gears. Oh, yeah, Bloomberg. Yeah, this is why I was getting into Bloomberg. Okay. I don't know if you guys have heard this story or not, or whether you guys are aware, but, Bloomberg News, Mike Bloomberg is the same guy. Okay. Now, he basically demanded of his news crew, organization, whatever, that you can't do news, negative news focused on me, any news on me whatsoever. I don't want to do that. And the news division is like, okay, well, if we can't do negative news on Michael Bloomberg, then we really can't do negative news on anybody else in the Democratic Party because, then we'd be showing favoritism. We really can't do that. Okay. But they still decided that we're going to go ahead and still do negative news, negative stories and everything else on President Trump because, well, he is the president. Therefore, hello, Battle Beast Ben over there in YouTube land. Good to see you, sir. Awesome. But they decided that they were still going to go ahead and do negative stories on President Trump because it's like, oh, well, he's the president. This isn't, campaign related. That's their justification for doing this, that it's not campaign related. This is just related to, him being a president. So still covering the impeachment, still covering anything else that he does. It's okay for us to cover that. But right now, we're only covering President Trump. We are not covering any negative news, any news whatsoever, anything on the Democratic side. And they basically said that if Michael Bloomberg does go ahead and win and, wins the primary, that we will reconsider and, redo how we're going to do the news coverage at that point. We're not going to worry about it right now, but until that time, we're just not going to cover anybody on the Democratic side whatsoever. That's what they said. All right, guys, we're going to take another quick break. And when I return, we got some more stuff to talk about.
You are correct. You are correct.
right, welcome back to the Ho Ho Show. All right, guys. So this first article that I'm going to talk about, that's not right. That's not the first one. So from Fox
Best
News.
Black Friday yet. Now at Lord & Taylor. Get $100
Really?
off when you spend $200 or more throughout the store.
All right. Gotta love them pop-up things that just decide they're going to play whenever they want to play. So this headline for Fox News, Hunter Biden demands financial records are kept secret in child support suit. Yeah, because, Joe Biden just found out not that long ago that he is a grandfather. He's got a grandson, so, he's demanding, we don't want my financial records to become, public. And, amid the 2020 election, that was the wrong one. According to Reuters, the Epoch Times, or however you pronounce that, Trump to release financial records before election and much richer than people even thought. So he's finally releasing his records. But I'm kind of doing that to talk about this. Spend 10 years at a public service job for student loan forgiveness. 99% won't get it. In our, with what the Democrats are wanting to pull, some of the things they're wanting to do with the whole, student loan forgiveness, with a lot of the other things that they're talking about doing, social programs to just, throw money at people, This one I actually thought was kind of cool for the simple aspect of if you are going to go to college and you're not going to seek, education into STEM, what does STEM stand for? Science, technology, engineering, and math. So if you're not going to go after those type of studies, if you're going to go after social studies type of things to where you're really not going to be able to get a job outside of college unless you work for another college type of a thing as a teacher in one of these, dead end jobs. If you do that, the likelihood of you actually being able to make money and pay back your loan really drop down the toilet. That's why people have these outrageous student loans, because they just can't get a job in their chosen field. And of which case, big surprise there. I mean, have you guys actually looked at some of the courses that you can get, some of the classes you can take? It's like, why would you do that? How are you going to make money on this education once you get out of college? I mean, unless you're going back into that college to become a teacher, professor, or whatever, what's the point of even getting that kind of an education? I don't get it. It makes no sense to me, but whatever. So this headline, if you want that student loan to be forgiven, let me learn how to speak again. If you want that student loan to be forgiven, public service job, get a job going to a courthouse scrubbing toilets or whatever, and me and a buddy of mine, we were talking before the show, and it's like, dude, you know what? It'd actually be kind of awesome for them to do that type of stuff for, people on welfare, other financial things like that. If you're on unemployment, whatever, you want to earn some of that money, there you go. I thought that would be actually pretty awesome. Dave puts in here because people are misguided. Yeah, they are. They're definitely misguided. And I just don't, man. I mean, I really don't understand the drive to, take those type of classes. I mean, I really don't, because if the whole point of going to college is to prepare you for the real world, to prepare you for going out and getting a job and actually being what some would consider to be a productive member of society. And yes, I put that in air quotes. I love air quotes because air quotes are amazing. What's the point of that type of an education? Now, I mean, granted, if you want to take some of that stuff on the side, then okay. But a master's degree in a field that is a dead-end field, where's the point in that? I mean, really, where's the point in that? I mean, but if you're going into STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, if you are going into a technical field, a trade type of a school, well, then great, go ahead, do that. Yeah. Yeah, Dave puts in and goes, it's a dopey mindset. It's a dopey mindset things when you're young, probably enhanced by parents who don't know better either. Yeah, that could be part of it. Yeah, that definitely could be part of it. Just a dopey mindset, from parents that don't want to speak a little wisdom into their kids, or maybe just hasn't realized themselves either. You never know. But yeah, it's definitely something I just don't get it. I really don't. Moving on. So yeah, loan forgiveness by doing that type of stuff. Let's see here. Reading through some of these things in here. You know what? To be honest with you, I think we're pretty well done. Yeah. I do. I think we're pretty well done. All right. Well, guys, awesome show. Good time. Glad you all stopped by. I do have a little bit of housekeeping update on here. I do have, I bought a couple websites. I bought a couple domain names, a couple .coms, a couple amazing .coms. All right. Now I've got the, okay, Dave put in here, he goes, I have a friend who was a philosophy major and graduated NYU and then went into real estate. Oh, that's awesome. I mean, if you apply it in that type of a thing, well, then cool. I mean, like I said, doing that on the side is fine, but I mean, like doing that and putting that as a career type of a choice, it makes no sense. I'm assuming they also did some type of a business degree, along with that philosophy major. I mean, I know my brother, he did, he went to college, he studied music and PE, and there was a business major on that as well. I think a lot of people end up doing business majors and whatnot, help them out along the way. But anyway, so I bought a couple domains. All right. One of the domains that I bought, it was a domain that I had been wanting to get for quite a while, but unfortunately, this is a parked domain. I couldn't actually get it. So I got close to it. So now the merch shop for the stuff, which I am now getting that underway, fully functional as a buy stuff here is supposed to be, and that is going to be located at stinkpickle.com. You heard that name correctly, stinkpickle.com, and pickle is spelled P-I. Let me start that over. Stinkpickle, S-T-I-N-K, pickle, P-I-K-L-E.com. Now that's a holy crap, because now I got to try to type that in and see what pops up. S-T-I-N-K, P-I-K-L-E.com. Yep, that's it. S-T-I-N-K, P-I-K-L-E.com. So yeah, it's not up yet. So I mean, you can't go there and see stuff because I haven't published it yet. I'm still building the website and getting things on there. But I also got another one, which I'm kind of like, dude, we should use this for like videos and whatnot. Not like I'm going to, but it was a neat, name for a domain, Torch Danis. Amazing name. There's a history behind that, and I'll let Brandon at another date tell you guys about that one. But yeah, so now the merch store can be located almost once I actually make it go live. But stinkpickle, P-I-K-L-E.com. I'm excited. It's going to be awesome. Nothing's going to be at torchdanis.com. Not at all. That's just, I wanted the domain. I thought it was awesome and hilarious. All right, that's it. That's all I got. Well, guys, you guys have yourself a wonderful evening. Good night. Sleep tight. And if them bed bugs bite, well, just bite them back. Yeah. Till next time, guys. This has been The Ho-Ho Show. For more information, you can head on over to thehohoshow.com. And for all things Weaponized Sloth Productions related, you can head on over to WSPFM.com. Until next time.